What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today we have for you guys NBA Legends Explained. What's the best era in NBA history? As a fan, make sure to let me know down in the comments below what era you think was the best in the NBA and why. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say, so I'll be going through and reading all the comments. Also, make sure I smash the like button. Let's see if we can hit 100 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We're releasing daily videos for the rest of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. With that being said, let's get into NBA Legends Explained, the best era in NBA history.
Oh, I think we all would like to be playing now.
Dollars aside.
Well, no dollars. I mean, just the style and the pace of the game. I mean, it's a guard's game. And, you know, the big man can't hit you. You can go to the basket anytime you want to. Somebody touch you. You can get to the foul line, you know, 10 to 15 times a night. I mean, it's easier to score. I mean, for me as a point guard, I would love to play in this era. Now, I think the toughest era, just looking at it, is the 80s. I mean, when you look at, the two teams that, we argue and say are the two best ever, Boston's 86 team is, arguably the best team to ever play, in the NBA. And then that Laker 87 team, some people have that in the top, 3 to 4, so I think in that era with Dr. J, Kareem, Magic, Bird, some of the 50 greatest players, a lot of them are in that era.
I would agree. Men played in the 80s. Like, it was, you're 28, 29, you were hitting your career, figuring it out. We're here, you're 21, 22, different type of player. This is the most fun era to watch.
What's the best?
And easiest. Oh, the 80s. 80s is
80s is the best. Toughest and best.
Toughest and best. Easiest and most fun to watch is now. I think that guys who are stars would be average players in the 80s. There's a lot of stars that would be average players in the 80s because their skill set doesn't allow them to do anything but one thing.
You don't mean superstars, you're saying next level down, stars.
Superstars.
There are superstars now who would be average players in the 80s?
I want names, Kenny. I want names.
Yeah. I mean, okay,
I would say stars. I don't know about
Superstars.
superstars.
I would say this because Charles and I always have a thing where we talk about to be a superstar, you have to contribute to the game 5 different ways. Superstars today, they don't have to. They only have to contribute 3, scoring, rebounds, assists. But leadership and controlling the tempo of the game, and the 6th would be defense. So most superstars in our era, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, they led it in 5 categories. Magic, control the tempo of the game, the scoring, assists, rebounding, leadership. Boom, that was automatic. You can't do that with today's superstars. There's maybe 2 or 3 guys that, LeBron would be one, Kobe would be another, and my list I would start really searching on my list that could do those 5 things and maybe
Back
those
in the
6.
80s. Wow, okay. What do you think?
You don't think Kevin Durant would be a superstar player back then?
The list starts to, you see how, you didn't go, if you would have went to me and said, hey, what about Kevin Durant? What about blah, blah, blah? What about blah, blah, blah? And I would have been like, maybe I was wrong. But you stop short with one guy. The list just dwindles, but when you say the superstars of the 80s, you go Malone, Kevin McHale, you go Bird, these guys did so many different things because now I think the money, people get paid and people think that they're great because they get paid. No, they get paid because they contribute to that team, that valuable to that team. Doesn't mean they're a superstar because you get $90 million. That's all I'm saying.
Is there any part of any of you that says, boy, I'd like to have been playing back in the black and white film days?
No.
Well, to see those guys coming down court dribbling like that, I'm not going to lie, I would love to play like that. What? Joker only got one arm, he can't go left, but Joker going left like this.
And when he shoots, he goes like this.
Then he shoots, he goes,
Holds it.
oh, no, but yeah, I would love that.
But I think there are some players in the 80s that couldn't play in this era. And I think it's because of the rules. The rules, you can take some players in this era and bring them into the 80s and they still would have success, and then some of them wouldn't. And I think you can take, like a perfect example, like Robert Parrish, a center like Parrish or Sigma, I don't know if they could play in this era. And then you say, would Magic Johnson be a point guard in this era, or would Magic Johnson probably be a center in this era? You know, Magic Johnson probably wouldn't be running the point, playing high pick and roll.
And you know what would have happened? That coach would have been fired.
But I'm just saying,
he couldn't recognize that Magic Johnson.
No, but think about it. No. Let's think about it. Like, seriously, right? In this era, right? So Magic Johnson guarding Westbrook, Paul, all the guards, Derrick Rose, so forth and so on.
He would have guarded the small forward.
Yeah,
he would have had the
he
small
would have played point.
Like me.
But, okay,
Like
now
LeBron.
if you play him at the point guard, okay, what type of offense are you running? Are you playing high pick and roll the way they play it now?
Yes.
I mean, would you play high pick and roll with Magic Johnson?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Okay, now this is a league now that demands that you have to play high pick and roll. So if you're not going to play him at the point where he can play high pick and roll, what do you play him at?
So you're saying more to me than it's worse. The coaching is better or different, more than the player.
The coaching and the rules are different. It's just different rules. So some players in all 80s era would be different in this era. They would have to play totally different.
Well, isn't there the idea, Kenny, that throughout your athletic endeavors that there's adaptability? You have to play to the conditions that you're given. So to say that players who are great today wouldn't have adapted because they have this incredible ability to play the game, wouldn't adapt to how the game is coached and how much they train and all those sort of things. There is adaptionability. I mean,
So-
we're all still evolving, and back then,
and there's
wouldn't they find a way? The greatest players and athletes would find a way. Personally, I believe, to be great. It's great to go back and talk about those eras, but I just feel like every generation has great players. They're great for a reason, and if you put them in those same conditions back then, they'd find a way to get there again.
No, I think Magic would be great, but I don't think he would. In this era, I think we would be talking about Magic Johnson, probably one of the greatest centers to ever play the game.
I think he still can play
Because-
point, Isaiah.
I don't no way he would be able to guard
Because
these guys
even
out front.
back,
But he guarded.
He didn't guard
What
it.
about you,
He didn't guard
Stockton?
it.
That's why we went to the finals. That's why we went. He couldn't guard us. But
he
I'm
didn't
just
guard
saying.
you guys back then. He put Michael Cooper on basically all
And
night.
so that's what I'm saying. So at the point guard position today,
He put Cooper on him.
okay, but would he be able to play high screen and roll?
I'd say yes.
And I would say, I would think in this game today, the way it's coached and the way the centers are at 6'8", 6'9", Magic Johnson now would revolutionize the center position and be something totally different that we've never seen before, other than the point guard position that he revolutionized. So at the point guard position, he was the standard, and I think in this era, he would be the standard at the center position, not the point guard position.
Point center. He'd
He'd still be point center. I think with his mindset, whatever position, he's going to have the ball in his hand.
I would think he would
He's going
be,
to have the ball in his hand.
So you're saying he would come up to the high post and make moves and pass from the center position, or go to the low post, do moves and make passes from there that we had never seen before?
Yeah, that's
more
what
than
that's
making
what I
it from
think.
up top.
Yeah, I don't think he would be coming down, playing high screen and roll, stepping behind, shooting a three, shaking you, and he wouldn't be doing all that. Now, what he would be doing as a center is when he's catching it, you saying, "Oh, well, what are we gonna do now when he has it? Because now he can get to the basket. I mean, it's totally different
That's what they
than him
say.
coming down the floor.
Right.
Looking
I get
at that D Rose and everything. So that's what I mean. Like the way offenses are played right now, he would be a totally different player in this era.
I appreciate you doing that, because the guy handling the beep button upstairs said, just not at all. Taken back to life. Are you intrigued by this? I mean, you just came off of playing in this current era.
Right.
Grant, are you intrigued by the possibility of seeing how your skill set translated to another time in the NBA?
As a fan, it would have been fun to play in the 80s. And first of all, I do agree that the 80s was the best era. And I think this current era is certainly entertaining, but I think because of the rule changes and the style of play, it is an easier era to play. I sometimes wish, I could be a little bit younger playing today. But I think I think you guys are all right. I think a couple of things. One, I think it's always hard to compare eras and players. Like I watched Wilt Chamberlain and some of the moves and the finger rolls he would do back in the '60s, and think, how would he fare against Shaq today? And as great and as dominating as he wasn't as dominant as Shaq. But you'd think that he would adapt if he came of age at the same time that Shaquille would, just like most players. So, I mean, there's sort of that angle, and then I think too,
But there would be no Shaq if there wasn't Wilt, because Wilt showed you how to take it off, to dribble it off, to play with the Globetrotters. So he showed Shaq a style that a big man had never seen, the skill set. So I agree that, but there are guys who are, I would say, trendsetters and rule makers. And until 80s guys, this is how I think they're great. There were rule changes because of them. Michael Jordan, there was an illegal offense because of him.
That was me.
And I say,
No, I'm just saying. That was Lambeer and I that started.
On one side of the floor and lifted everybody else. They said, you know what, that's illegal.
They said we got to change those.
They're too good. They're too good for that. So we're illegal. Charles Barkley, the back down rule.
Him and Mark Jackson. Yep.
They were like, no, you're too good to have the ball more than 6 seconds back. So what guy are they changing rules about now?
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, we're releasing daily videos for all of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.